that's interesting. Low-income earners are being urged to invest in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. The JSE is eyeing groups such as stokvels to invest their multi-billion rand contributions in exchange-traded funds. What are they, you may be asking? Well, we're going to find out just now, and why the JSE is targeting them in particular. JSE Market Development Analyst Michael Egner joins me now. Michael, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the program.
Thanks, Peter.
All right, so what's the interest that the JSE has in stokvels?
Well, stokvels are a large pool of uninvested individuals' money. And, you know, we're urging individuals to come to the JSE and consider the JSE as an option for investment. Often people aren't making wise financial choices, and as much as we can't offer financial advice, you know, we're in a position to point people in the right direction.
Yeah. And so why do you think that stokvels haven't been investing in the JSE?
Many reasons. One of the reasons I think, which is probably most important, is people have this misperception that the JSE is a place for only the elite, for rich people, for people with specialist knowledge. But you know, that's just not the case. We have products. The JSE is for everyone.
Right. Okay, so why should they invest in the JSE?
Well, as I said, you know, can't give financial advice, but you know, JSE is one of the places and where people can invest and get returns on their money. And it's important for people to realize that if they don't want rising prices to eat away into their money, they need to look for a return. And JSE is one of the places where they can get that. And you know, the South African market has been, over the 125 years, I read a Credit Suisse report recently, it's a very, very good performing market.
All right, so now we've been telling them about something called EFTs, exchange-traded funds.
ETFs. EFT usually involves losing money, so
ETFs. So what on earth are these, and why do you suggest this vehicle in particular?
It's an exchange-traded fund, which is really a basket of instruments packaged into a single instrument.
Okay.
So, for example, if you didn't know what to invest in, you weren't in a position to pick an individual stock, or you were too scared, so you could put your money in something like that, and you'd be getting a whole lot of assets.
Okay, so is it, I remember unit trust, is it similar to that?
Very similar. It's basically like a unit trust on the stock exchange, and with all the things that come with that, including daily trading, the kind of regulation that we bring to the market.
And I guess they choose the better performing stocks, the more stable ones, top 40 type things?
Yes, I mean, that's a good example. Top 40 is a popular product, but I mean, you can also invest in gold, you can get involved in property. So I mean, if you don't have the money to go out and buy a property for yourself, you can get into a property ETF.
So somebody might be saying, okay, if I took my 300 rand a month and I put it in the bank, I might get 6-7%. Would I do better in ETFs?
It's difficult for me to say. You know, performance, we've had some really good performing ETFs. We've had ETFs which have had moderate performance. I think it's always important for investors to make that first move, come to the JSE, see what we have available, look at the performance of things historically, and just get in, you know. As with anything, once you're in, you get a taste for it, you can go from there.
All right, now we've been talking about stokvels in particular, but I guess we're talking about low-income earners in general. So I, as an individual, could approach, excuse me, the JSE, or someone to go through the JSE for me, and invest in these exchange-traded funds?
Absolutely, everyone can invest. And you know, some of the platform providers and people who are providing access to these products on the exchange are offering it to people at 300 rand a month debit order, or 1,000 rand once off. So I mean, that's...
Where do they start? Who do they get hold of?
Well, I think a starting point is the JSE, and we can direct them to one of our brokers or platform providers, www.jsc.co.za. People can even come into the JSE. You know, we're very helpful with people who just walk in and say, you know, I just want to get started.
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you very much indeed for sharing your thoughts with us and introducing us to the world of ETFs. Okay, there you go. All right, so my apologies to the graphics that you might have seen that said EFTs. That's a whole different world altogether, and you don't want to get involved in that. Liam Neeson did, and he ended up in jail. So ETFs, exchange-traded funds, think unit trusts, very similar instruments, and that's something you can do for as little as 300 rand a month.